called, essential employees for building mining trucks. So I've been going to work, so I've been blessed with that. But my car, my used car broke down, and so just third world problems, first world problems, not third
first world problems,
yeah, not third world problems. They're like,
no.
I want food. I want a Ford Escape that runs. So,
earlier when you were saying "I will survive," I thought you were going to break out into a song.
I will not break out into song.
I
will survive.
Oh,
I've got all my
No,
life
I
to
thought
live.
you weren't. You said you
my-
weren't going to do this.
Oh, well, I thought maybe
God.
you really wanted it. So, no, it's been all right. So, I was on my way back from Southern Illinois, or not quite Southern Illinois, Carlinville, to help my parents move. And coming around Springfield, and my son and I heard a pop, and it blew the spark plugs out of the engine.
Oh man.
So I was able to get one back in, and I had to drive from Springfield to Decatur, which I would not recommend from what I've read on the internet. Do not drive with your spark plug out of your engine. It's not really good, but we made it. So
Wow.
It was a very tense evening on the way home. My son was not happy that I took it upon myself to endanger his life.
All right. Well, wow. We've learned a lot about you, Bart. Number one,
Yeah,
we've
there you
learned that
I don't sing.
you can't sing.
That's right.
Yeah, and not to drive a car with two less spark plugs.
Even one less.
Even one less, yeah, because it doesn't miss. I don't know a lot about internal combustion, but I'm sure that's not good. Speaking of cars, I did a radio interview last week at this Christian-based radio program that's in Champaign, but it goes to 14 different stations in Central Illinois and Indiana, and they wanted me to talk about the D1 NASCAR. How crazy is that? That picture behind you, Bart, is one of the cars that D1 NAS would sponsor at Macon Speedway. That's one of them. But we had our own car, the D1 NASCAR, that we rode or that we drove in the Sport Compact division. And I did a whole show just about the D1 NASCAR. It was fantastic. It was awesome. Apparently that's a hot topic out there among radio hosts.
Well, I wouldn't think there's too many senior pastors of churches who are also race car drivers.
No, I don't know of any.
So you are a unique creature.
Yeah. All right.
Rarity.
A
Rarity.
rarity.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
One of a kind.
Well, that was a lot of fun. That aired yesterday, and maybe we can post that link on the D1 NAS Facebook page having to do with the D1 NASCAR because that was a really fun journey for many here at the church. A lot of people came to Christ through that, too. I mean, it's amazing. A 2005 Chevy Cobalt.
Are you ever going to go back to driving? Is your wife ever going to let
We'll
you go
look
back?
to see if my wife is watching.
Is your wife?
If she's watching,
No.
the answer is no. If she's not watching, the answer is maybe.
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 If she's out of town.
If she's out of town. Okay, we are going to talk about our Upward sports program tonight. But before we do, we want to challenge everybody as you're watching this tonight, and even as you log off of this, be sure to commit yourself in prayer tonight and in the days ahead. Really, we should be praying every single day and reading the Bible. But we've got to make sure that we are lifting up our country. The divisiveness in our country right now is it's rampant, and prayer is really our only answer. So be sure to commit yourself to that and pray for the peace of Christ to fall on our community. And we'll trust the prayers of other people in their communities to have the peace of Christ fall over them as well.
Yes.
Thank you, Bart.
You're welcome.
Here at D1 NAS, we have a lot of ministries. There is constantly something going on. We have a Helping Hands food pantry that is open 4 times a month. We have a Celebrate Recovery ministry that is open every Thursday night starting at 6 o'clock. We have the D1 Midweek that happens. Of course, we have Sunday morning services. We have a daycare that runs Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 6 p.m. And we also have a basketball-football ministry here called Upward. Now, Upward is a nationwide Christian-based program that churches can take on and then organize and plan around their schedule and their ministry. But the basis of Upward is very simple. Basketball is almost secondary. The main goal of Upward is to teach the foundational elements of Jesus Christ through Bible memorization, coach influence, there's all different types of teaching aspects of the Upward ministry, and it is really, truly making an impact through D1 NAS and right here in Decatur. And while we're on the topic, we got to give a major shout out to Matt and Shauna Bowman, who are our Upward directors. They always do an awesome job. And one of the reasons why the person sitting in the studio is here tonight is because of Matt and Shauna Bowman. And so, Christina, welcome to you. It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for
Welcome.
having me.
What's life been like for you during this pandemic? Have you been able to survive?
Yeah, we were pretty lucky. I mean, I was working for a school district most of the time, and so it worked out perfectly because I could be home with my kids while also doing my job, which, I mean, I was so blessed to have that because I know so many people didn't have that option.
Sure.
They lost daycare, they lost their jobs, and I didn't, and my kids were still able to have their classes online. I was still able to connect with students, so we were very lucky.
Well, that's awesome. And we brought you in tonight to talk about Upward. You had a big part of the Upward ministry this past year with Upward football. What was your involvement?
I was one of the cheer coaches along with Shauna Bowman, and I love coaching the cheerleaders. The girls are so much fun, from the little ones to the older ones.
I was out there most Saturdays, and I got to see the routines and all the fun that they were having there at Upward. But for you, not only did you get to coach the cheerleaders, behind all of that, there is a story about you coming to Christ at some point in your life. Share with us a little bit about how you came to know Christ in a personal way.
Well, I was raised a Catholic, and for many years after I lost my sister, I kind of lost my faith. And then when the kids and I moved here last August, one day in September, they both brought home one of those Upward pamphlets for basketball and cheer. And they were like, "Can we do this?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I think this church is actually just down the street from us." And so we came to registration in November and signed them up. And on our way out, Darcy stopped me, and she started talking to me and just kind of asking a little bit about me because she had never seen me before. And she invited us to come to church the next time we were able to. And we did, and we got to talking, and the kids and I ended up coming to church here at D1 NAS. It just, it was just one of those moments where everything clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels right. And they love the youth program here. They love Upward. They look forward to Upward all year long. Once one
Sure.
thing ends, they look forward to the next thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so moving here and coming here with sports, it just kind of reconnected me with my relationship with God.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about how Upward helped you and your relationship with God, because that is a leadership position within Upward that you have to make sure that you're prayed up and planned up before you stand in front of the kids and teach them anything.
All of these little people are looking up to you, and that's a big responsibility. And so, coming to D1 and getting reconnected with my faith and just, praying more, really reaching out to God and, realizing each and every day that He has us no matter what. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life, whether you've lost your job, whether COVID is affecting your family, no matter what's going on, He always has it. And constantly remembering that really kind of just makes it easy to be able to connect with these kids, to just share that with them, to let them know that, there is no problem that is too big.
If you ever had a hard week, come out, watch kindergartners, first graders play basketball.
Yes.
You will. I'm sure any sport. I did basketball, obviously, because that's all we had at the time. But I'm telling you what, you watch kindergartners, first graders play basketball, some kind of sport, they don't know the rules.
Nope.
They don't care. It's, you've got the one kid over there picking the flowers. I remember one year there was one kid on the basketball, obviously not flowers in the basketball court, but there was one kid, he just spun on the basketball court. That's all he did. He just stood there and just spun and spun and spun. And he was loving it.
He was living his best life.
That's right. Nothing better.
Yep.
Yeah, I played pickup basketball with Bart a couple years ago. He was doing the same thing. In the
Well, that was because I blew out a shoe. I was
is that
just
right?
running in a circle.
Actually, Bart, I was really impressed with how good you were. You're pretty good,
Yeah, that was a few years ago.
despite your bad knee.
I haven't played for a long time.
Or your bad hip. Which is it?
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting old, getting fat, or getting old was fat. Am fat. So yeah. No sports for Bart. Now I just play online sports.
That's called curvy.
Curvy?
Yes.
Well, no. Yeah. What does it say about being in shape? A circle is a shape. I'm in shape.
I'm in shape.
I'm just a circle
It's a circle.
on legs. Anyway, back to.
Anyway.
How did you get on this, man?
Well,
I'm telling you how
anyway.
great it was to watch little kids play sports, because it is little league baseball. I mean you watch little kids play sports and it is just pure entertainment.
Yeah. I was a recreation director up in the Chicago suburbs I did that job for 3 years before I became junior high pastor there, and we did 3-year-old soccer and 3-year-old t-ball, and it was very similar. Running all over the place. It was like a beehive. Or a group of bees just running around the soccer ball. That's all it was. They all followed the ball. It was fantastic. We had such a good time watching it.
Year, I remember that.
Yeah, it was good.
No people. Just right. It's a herd.
Just a clump. Yep. Just running around. It was great. So tell us who's been the most influential to you, Christina, since you have reunited with God and you have found a home here at D1 NAS, you and your children and your family. Who has been instrumental in showing you and discipling you for the sake of Christ?
Well, one, my partner, John, early on in our relationship, we really sat down and we said that if this was going to work and our family was going to work, that God had to come first. Mm-hmm. And then finding a church family here really just solidified that. And everyone that we've met here is just such an inspiring example of what it means to be Christ-like. From the moment I met Darcy, she just showed me grace upon grace and what it means. And getting to coach with Shauna, that has been amazing. It's inspiring. I would like to be her one day when I grow up. That's her relationship with God is just, that is what we all aspire to have with him.
Absolutely. Well, we're so thankful that you took the time to be here tonight and talk about Upward and its impact. Upward will happen this year. We have the evaluations this Saturday, so if you haven't signed up yet, you're able to up through Saturday. And then the plan is to kick off Upward basketball and cheerleading in January. But again, we don't know. We don't know what everything is going to be like, but the plan is to move forward. That's the plan, Bart.
Yes, it is. That's all you can do.
Right.
You don't know what tomorrow brings.
Yeah. Plan and then understand
Adapt.
that canceling is a pretty legit option at any moment.
One of my previous jobs, I was a programmer, and I kid you not, they're like, all right, we want you to start on this project. It's going to change. I 3 or 4 in a row. All right, go ahead, start. The user doesn't know what they want yet, so when they decide on it, you'll change it. Okay.
Okay. That is the perfect example to how we are living these days. Do you know how much planning we put into this coming Sunday? Because of all the new restrictions. We put tons of planning. We had to rearrange so much about what we're doing. And who knows? The case count could go up to 16, 28, 46%, and we got to cancel everything.
Yep.
Now, we're not canceling Sunday right now.
What was that?
But no. And don't edit it to make it say something it doesn't, Bart. But yeah, that's the world we're living in right now. But prayer is the only thing that'll get us through. Connecting with Christ is the only thing that get us through. One more thing we got to mention is last Thursday night we had Praise in the Pandemic, and boy, I'll tell you what, we had such a great time just praising through the pandemic, not knowing what the weeks ahead are going to bring, but that was really good. Praise and prayer are really our only weapons to get through. So
the only thing I'm missing is I talked about to somebody is they used to do a thing called all day singing and dinner on the grounds, and so you would come to morning service, and then you would have lunch, and then have a time of worship, and then you'd have your evening service, and you'd go home. I'm just waiting for that dinner on the grounds.
Dinner on the grounds all day.
I miss potlucks at church.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have them at your church growing up?
Not so much. We were Catholic, so it was more about, getting down on that hard wooden bench, kneeling down there, and,
Didn't eat afterwards?
No.
Oh, man, I tell you. That was one thing about the Nazarene church was potlucks. I loved potlucks. And it shows.
All right, not to be Johnny Raincloud here, Bart.
What about it?
But we can't serve food right now.
Well,
we're not allowed. I'm so sorry. We're not even really allowed to sing in the presence of one another unless we have a mask on and are 6 feet apart.
And sing below a normal speaking voice.
Yeah, you got to sing in your heart. So, man, hey, I'm totally with you, but restrictions. Well, hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us for D1 Midweek. I want to thank somebody that's not in the studio. I want to thank Randy and Kathy Miller for doing the hymn singing last night. That was
Randy's
fantastic.
Awesome. If you want to have fun, ask Randy about radio. Randy's awesome.
Man, he is awesome. Randy and Kathy Miller did a great job with our hymn sing last night. Ethan Neufeld will be leading the hymn sing next Tuesday night. He's excited about that. Thank you to Christina Gathright for taking time to be with us. Thank you so much. And thank you to the greatest tech guy in the world. If anybody else out there says, no, my tech guy's better, you look at him and say, no, we have the best tech guy here at D1 Naz, and his name is Bart Harris. Bart, thank you.
You're so welcome. It's a learning process, and I'm still learning.
Of course it is. Of course it is. But you're awesome. Thanks for joining us this week. We will see you next Wednesday night. We'll have Danica Bultice back in the studio, and we'll be talking about the true definition of what it means to be a lay minister. What does it mean to be a lay leader, a lay minister in the life of the church? It's going to be an interesting discussion.
The word lay comes from
the Greek. This discussion is going to happen next week, Bart.
People. Is a lay person a people person?
Next week, Bart.
And we're out of here.
All right. Have a good week. Take care.